Hey, fight fans, this is Ted Check. Here we have the first images or image of the Smashing Machine starring The Rock. I thought that when I first heard about this, I thought that maybe this was just some talk in Hollywood. I didn't know that they were actually in production or whatever. Let's say they were in the middle of it all. But because sometimes actors get involved in projects and then they never happen, right? I guess that happens a lot in Hollywood. But they're actually making the movie, and it's coming out next year. And so here we have The Rock as Mark Kerr. For those of you who don't know, Mark Kerr was a successful, influential fighter. He started off I think the first thing he did was bare knuckle in Brazil. Then he went to the UFC briefly, and then in Pride. And his life was chronicled in a very famous, probably one of the best documentaries I've ever seen, called The Smashing Machine. And then so somebody decided to make a movie about it. And I've gone on record saying, you know what, I don't know if I think that it's necessary. I mean, when did Hollywood ever consider that? But I don't know that it's necessary to make the movie because you have the documentary, and nothing's better than the documentary. Yeah, you can make it more dramatic with different camera angles and music and da. But the rawness of the documentary, where you actually see the highs and the lows of Mark Kerr's career and the struggles that he goes through with substance abuse and the toxic relationship with his girlfriend, Dawn Staples. I just don't know that you can beat that you can replicate that. But they're going to try. So, okay, fine. So here we have The Rock. As far as actors, I don't know that there's anybody that compares to Mark Kerr like The Rock. They're very, very similar in height and weight. Rock just had to put on some hair. So this is in one of his fights here. And this is Dawn Staples. This is Emily Blunt as Dawn Staples. So that's interesting. Let's see, what else do we have? So this is Mark Kerr. Okay, so you can see there is a resemblance. Mark Kerr always had a good tan going on. I don't know if it's his ethnicity. I don't know what that is. But, that matches up. And then obviously, look at the physique, and we know that he had some problems there with steroids. So The Rock can relate to that as well. But let's see, was there another photo? No, let's go to this here. Yeah, you can see again the resemblance here. And yeah, The Rock they had to cover up all these tattoos. Mark Kerr has some, but they're not nearly as many. Let's see if we can. Yeah, so Kerr has like two little like spider tattoos or whatever here, and then he's got some Japanese character over here. So they had to replicate that. I'm wondering who is going to play. Who's going to play Mark the Hammer Coleman, who was very close to Mark Kerr, and also Boss Rutan. Will Boss Rutan play Boss Rutan? Because Boss is an actor in his own right. He's been in a number of films, and he was a trainer. He's featured heavily in The Smashing Machine, the documentary. So will Boss Rutan play Boss Rutan? That's what I want. Maybe I'll ask him that. I don't know if he's going to respond, but yeah, I'm going to ask him that. But anyway, yeah, so you can see how impressive Kerr was in his physique. And the other thing I wanted to say was the documentary was so successful, I think, because it showed the highs and the lows. No fighter, I don't think, exemplifies that quite like Mark Kerr. As you can see, he was 11-0 in his career before he started getting into some trouble here, and then ending with two big loss streaks, if you will. But he was also a very successful submission grappler. So in something called the ADCC, if you guys aren't familiar with that, the Abu Dhabi Combat Club. I mean, look, he beat Josh Barnett twice, I think, right? Josh Barnett, yep, beat him twice. Beat some other notable guys like Mike Van Arsdale, Rico Rodriguez, who was one of his, he trained with Rico Rodriguez under Boss Rutan. So, yeah, So what to make of this? Oh, and the other thing is, it's the movie is being directed by one of the guys who directed Uncut Gems, that movie with um, was Adam Sandler. Now, I didn't really like the movie, but it was a very gritty movie. I have to say, it's a very gritty, emotional movie, dark, and so you know, will we? Might we expect the same thing from the Smashing Machine? I mean, that's the way that I would think you're going to have to. You're going to have to film it because his life was, was very traumatic and tragic. Um, we'll see. We'll see how good it is. I don't know. I mean, like I said, The Rock has obviously the physique, and really, facially they aren't that far off. So can he match? Does he have the acting chops? Does The Rock have the acting chops to portray Mark Kerr the way that he should? We'll see. We'll have to see. Maybe this is something that maybe The Rock steps it up a number of notches in order to do that. Reaches deep down inside and finds something in there, some inspiration, some motivation. We'll just have to see. I don't know. I'm kind of very skeptical. As I've said before, I'm like, I don't know that you should do such a thing because the Smashing Machine documentary is so good. We'll just have to see how it works out. But I wanted to let you guys know. I wanted to show you some images here of this, and and there you go. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think? You think it's going to be a good movie? You think The Rock is up to it? Let me know. Talk to you later.